Hey guys, welcome to a brand new episode of Smile with Prachi, and today I'll be talking about a topic which is actually very close to my heart. Today's topic is how to feel more self-confident, and I just believe that this is like such an important topic. The more I study psychology, the more I try to understand people, the more I realize that the biggest problem that we have in today's world, or in fact, the biggest problem that human beings have faced since the beginning of civilization is just the self-confidence issue. Most of the things that people do which are not right, which are just which just feel wrong, like for example, when they do wrong things to hurt people, or when they judge people too much, or when they're just behaving in a certain way which is not appropriate, but just like fighting for unnecessary causes rather. Most of the times it just comes from self-esteem. So if somebody is like constantly cribbing about how bad the world is, there's a good chance that this person just feels really insecure inside. If there's somebody who's always shouting and screaming and really angry, this is a person who's just not feeling worthy enough inside. All of it just comes down to the same thing: self-confidence. Self-confidence issues start in a life at the very just at the age of when you're a toddler. When you see your mom reaching up the shelves of the cabinet and you try to reach up and you cannot, that is when you start feeling less worthy. You feel like, oh my god, I can't do this, but other people can do it. Why am I not bigger? Why am I not larger? Why am I not taller? Whatever. And right from that age, that really tiny age, you start having issues like that. Now, to some extent, having self-confidence issues, or rather feeling less worthy about yourself at just a very small level, is actually a good thing, because it drives you to do bigger things in life. If you're totally satisfied with yourself, you don't really get there, but there has to come a point where you have to stop it. So just a little bit of lack of self-worth, or feeling that you're not doing good enough, is good, but anything beyond that is just really bad for you. So for me, my self-confidence issue started at a very young age, because I suddenly become a very bad student in my school. Like for most of my school life, I was a very bad student. It's a different thing that once I started feeling more confident, I got a scholarship, and I started coming first and second in my class. So what I'm trying to tell you is that from somebody who used to fail in possibly all the subjects in class, to somebody who was actually getting scholarships, it was really just about self-confidence. And for me, this battle was so long, for almost all of my school life. And actually, even beyond that, it extended a little bit even beyond that. The self-confidence issues were just there. Like there was a point when I just felt, I would never ever be able to speak up ever in my life. Like when my teachers would ask me questions in class, I could not get up and answer. Even if the teacher is directly asking me a question in class, and even if I directly know the answer to the question, I would still not answer. I would much rather take that punishment than actually speaking up in my class, or getting my voice heard or whatever. For most of my school life, not all, but for most of my school life, I did not have friends. Then there were times when there was like a time when I stopped drinking water in school, because I would be like, if I drink water and if I want to go to the washroom, I can't actually go up and excuse myself. So it was really bad. It was really bad, and nobody should live like that. So from that to somebody who's actually been on national television, that too on a show that just requires, the most important thing that show requires is confidence, right? To this girl who's a YouTuber, who's actually talking about something like this on camera. I just feel that life really does change completely, once you start feeling confident. So how did I make this happen, and how do I suggest people to make it happen? Well, I just share a lot of my personal opinions, and then a lot of things that I've read about this thing with you guys here. So if you have self-confidence issues, or if you know somebody who is having self-confidence issues, just watch this video, or make these people watch this video, and I can absolutely guarantee you will start feeling better right after watching this video itself. So the first thing I feel that really helps when you're having self-confidence issues is to make a list. Make a list of all of your strengths. It's so important. So just sit down, strengths, things that you like about yourself. It could be a little difficult if you're having self-confidence issues. It could be a little difficult to even find a few strengths or few things that you like about yourself, but just write them down. So even if it's something very simple, like you like how pretty your nails are, or if you just think that you speak really well, or if it's just something like, you know, how fast you can Google something, just random stuff, or how well you cook. It doesn't even have to be something that is recognized a lot around in the world, you know. It's just about recognizing yourself first. So it's really important to sit down and make a list of all the things that you feel are really good about yourself. Are you a kind person? Are you a compassionate person? Are you a person who is loved by babies or loved by dogs? Just write them down, okay? And keep this list around. A very good idea is to just stick this list, you know, like make a poster of it and put it in your room. Or if you don't want to put it in your room, if it makes you feel too exposed, just take that list and keep it in your wallet or in your purse or whatever, and keep looking at it. Look at it every day, you know. It's just a great way of reminding yourself that you're precious. Once you're done making that list, it's really important to also understand your weaknesses and things that you don't even want to work on. Okay, for example, I used to suck at maths. I was so bad at maths, and one of the biggest reasons why I was actually a bad student was because I used to keep trying to be good at maths over and over and over again, and then I would just not be able to study the other subjects. So because of one weakness, which was maths, I was not being able to concentrate on the other subjects which were actually my strengths. And you know, overall as a person, I was just falling down. So for most of my life, you know, I had heard people say things like try again, try harder till you succeed, and things like that. Guys, that's like crap, okay? That's just stupid. You try to get better at something that you're not good at. You try to overcome your weakness, then you try again. But if it's just something that you're not even enjoying, if it's just something that, you know, is not even worth it, forget about it. There's no point in being ridiculous, you know. So after class 10, even in my class 10 board results, I didn't do very well in maths actually. But once I was done and over with it, I was like, you know what, I don't want to study maths any further. So in my plus 2, I didn't take up maths. A lot of people said, no, it's very important for your future, it's very important for your career. And I was like, you know what, I want to have a career if I keep studying maths even now. So I just quit maths. And as soon as I quit maths, I actually started doing so well in my school. And suddenly I realized, you know, I was getting such amazing marks in so many other subjects. In fact, I was getting really good marks in almost all of my subjects, you know. And I was like, gosh, you know, I'm actually a good student. Apart from maths, I'm actually a good student. So what I'm trying to tell you is that recognize your weaknesses, and sometimes you cannot totally let go of something that is your weakness, okay? Like till class 10, I had to study maths. But what I'm telling you is that don't let your weakness define you, okay? Don't let your weakness define you. Just let it be there and be like, okay, you know what, I have a weakness, big deal. I have a lot of strengths. I'll concentrate on my strengths. And don't be ridiculous about it. If you're not good at something, and if you're not even enjoying it, and if it's not even worth it, just give up and let it go, man. You don't have to be good at everything. It doesn't matter. And most importantly, when you're trying to build self-confidence, it is to build your strengths, okay? Like for example, I started realizing that I was getting very good marks in English, and I was like, wow. So, you know, I started working harder and I started reading more and I started improving my English. So today I can say that I have read so many books in English literature. So when I'm even interacting with people and the conversations are going to topics that I'm not good at, you know, I'm not good at sports, I'm not good at politics, I'm not interested in those things. So I usually try to take those topics, you know, I'm actually really bad at sports and politics, you know. So what I do is I try to divert those topics into the topics that I'm good at. So for example, English literature, that I know so much about English literature. So what I do is I try to divert those topics to what is my strength and then talk about that. So like, you know, during awkward conversations, I end up doing better than I would normally do because I'm focusing on my strength and because I've developed my strength. This is just about studies, you know, about education, but then other things are also there. Like for example, you know, because I'm a beauty blogger, let's talk about the beauty concerns that girls have. So I used to feel that I'm really skinny. Even today I feel I'm very skinny. But then again, you know, I can work on something like, you know, dressing up better. Like for example, today I'm wearing this this pattern. This is supposed to make you look a little bit, you know, healthier. Or I might be skinny, but I realized that, you know, if I work on my hair, I could have pretty hair. And so I worked on that. So, you know, like, or for example, I absolutely hate that I have a birthmark on my nose. So this was again another reason why I used to have so much inferiority complex. But then, you know, I decided, okay, fine, you know, I have a birthmark on my nose which I cannot do away with. What should I do? So I started wearing eyeliner and I started wearing kajal. I started highlighting my eyes. So what I was doing was I was highlighting my strengths and you know, just ignoring my weakness. So instead of this, people are now noticing my eyes, people are not noticing. In fact, I'm sure a lot of my subscribers still don't know that I actually have a birthmark over here. I've even posted pictures of myself without makeup on Instagram and Snapchat, but you know, I just let it pass, and now honestly it does not even bother me. So what I'm trying to tell you here is that, guys, you know, if you have a strength, and I'm sure you have a strength, everybody has a strength, It could be anything. It could be needlework, it could be interacting with certain kind of people, or just like anything, I don't know. Work on it, work on your strengths, because when your strengths start to define you, you just start feeling like a stronger person. Another thing that is really, really important while developing self-confidence is that you need to surround yourself with the right kind of people. Unfortunately, most of us, and especially with women, I think, there is this problem of jealousy. There is this problem of bringing each other down. There's a lot of competition. Among guys also, there is this jealousy and competition, but at least in their case, it's not psychological. It's more physical. So one day the guys will have a fight, they'll fight with each other and just, like have a big battle or whatever, and then the next day they're friends again. Because they have gotten it out of the system by fighting and stuff. With us women, we don't fight physically. What we do is that we keep things to ourselves, and then, it just comes out in a very negative way, and it just impacts the surroundings in a very bad way. So I was in a girls' school actually for most of my life. Then I went to co-ed. So there was like a lot of, and I'm not saying that all girls are bad or that the company of women is bad. I'm not saying that at all. Okay, I think it's just really nice to have girl company once in a while. What I'm trying to tell you is that it's just really important. Like in general, it is just really important for girls as well as for guys to surround themselves with positive people. Okay, people who make you feel good about ourselves. Separate yourself from people who are trying to bring you down. So like people who are trying to make you feel guilty about things, people who are constantly pointing out your flaws, or people who are constantly reminding you of the things that you have done wrong in the past. It's important to feel guilty. Sometimes it is important to recognize your flaws, but it should not keep coming from other sources all the time. If people are criticizing you, if your friends are criticizing you, it should be healthy criticism. That's all I'm trying to say. And most importantly, try and be more positive in your thoughts. Okay, I know it can be very difficult if you are suffering from depression or if you're suffering from self-esteem issues, but you have to keep focusing, on the positive thoughts. You have to keep telling your mind to go back to the positive things. So for example, you have to face like a really difficult interview, or you have to speak to somebody who's like a big high shot, and you're like, I'm like a small person, this person will not even give me importance. Just tell yourself that, I may be a small person, but hey, I'm really well dressed today, and that is definitely bound to make an impression. So what you do is that instead of focusing on that negative thought, you cover it up with a positive thought. Sometimes I have seen, in my personal experience, I have seen this, and this is something I used to do a lot. Fake self-confidence, fake self-confidence. You don't actually have to always feel confident from the inside, but you can, fake self-confidence on the outside. Even today, because I have suffered with this self-confidence issue for so long in my life, even today sometimes, I don't know, I think it's just like a thing, that happens to your brain. Because I have had the self-confidence issue for so long, even today sometimes I feel like I have self-confidence issues every once in a while. There's just like, I kind of just go through this phase and I'm like, I can't handle things, I'm feeling overwhelmed or just whatever. So even on those days, I just fake my self-confidence. I just do, and it just helps. You start by faking self-confidence. You start by faking, by just lying to yourself, telling yourself, no, you feel better, you feel better, you feel better, and eventually you actually start feeling better. So yeah, and the best thing about faking self-confidence is what? If you fake it, people don't actually get to know. Believe me, people don't actually get to know that you're faking your self-confidence. Because most people, I can absolutely assure you, most people around you who look confident or who look arrogant, in fact, arrogance is a sign of very low self-confidence. People who look very strong, most of those people are also faking self-confidence. So they're so busy faking their own self-confidence, they will not even realize that you're faking your confidence too. So yeah, there's no need to actually just feel like, like a meek little thing on the side and not feeling good enough about yourself. Just go out there, do your thing and be happy, okay? Just be happy. It's not that difficult to be happy, it's not that difficult to be confident. And yeah, you can totally do it, guys. If I can do it, believe me, anybody in this world can do it. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for supporting Smile with Prachi and for supporting me. Because of you guys also, my self-confidence keeps growing day by day. So yeah, that really helps me as a beauty blogger too. So yeah, that's about it. Thank you so much for watching. This is me, Prachi, signing off now. Bye-bye.